Good morning, guys. Tour Cruise here with Tuan Chan. We're on day 6 of our Central Vietnam Bikepacking Tour. Our last day, we're cycling from Kham Duc to our home in Da Nang. So it's been a long week, over 600 kilometers, and I don't even want to think about how much climbing. But today, we don't have too much climbing, just a little bit of up, down, and then some flat roads back into the city. So we just packed up our bikes. We're getting ready to go, and we were checking out of our homestay, and they were kind enough to cook us some breakfast. So we got our banh mi sandwich here. So pretty happy about that. That was a nice surprise. We got a nice egg banh mi, and Tuang was talking with the owner, and I guess all the ingredients in this banh mi were grown here. So they got the egg from here, all the vegetables. So we got a nice local egg banh mi for breakfast. This place is really nice. It's really clean, nice and spacious to put our bikes, and the bathroom was really, really nice. So this was a perfect spot to stay for our last night here, and especially after our hotel from the previous night. That was really rough, really dirty place. So anyway, we're gonna eat our breakfast and then we're gonna get on the road. So we're just now starting our ride. We're cycling around town here in Kham Duc, just grabbing some necessary supplies, some sports drink. We got our bananas. We're set to go. I'm not too worried about today's ride. Today's course should be pretty easy for us. It is a little bit longer, 125K, but half of it's gonna be flat, and the second half, we're heading back into our home area of Da Nang. So hopefully things will go pretty smooth. There's some chance for some rain in the afternoon, so hopefully we'll make some good time. But Kham Duc is a pretty nice small town here. I was actually pretty surprised at how big it is. We had some fun last night. We walked around town. There was a big party going on. We got some good food. There were some nice people. And yeah, that's where the party was last night. And it's kind of funny because last night I was under the impression it was actually a little bit cooler here, because it was 3 degrees Celsius cooler than it was at the same time in Da Nang, Vietnam, which I don't think that's the case anymore because the sun's out right now and it is hot. So today's gonna be another hot day. Tuang's got her face mask on. We're excited to get home, relax. So we got the gate out of the city. It's a pretty interesting design. Oh wow, nice big main road here. Wow, some of the cities here just do a really good job with their center guard area. Look at all these flowers, and this is the government building area, that's why. Okay, so we're already back on the Ho Chi Minh Road, the Ho Chi Minh Highway. This is the road that we came in through last night, but we took the southern entrance into the city, and now we're exiting from the northern part. And unfortunately last night, the last 40 kilometers or so heading into town was just really rough, really bad concrete, lots of cracks everywhere. So we were able to climb it fine, but every time we had to go on a downhill, it was just really rough, and we had to be on the brakes all the time. So Tuang's hands were really hurting last night just from all the rough pavement, from all the rough concrete, and having to brake all the time. Oh wow, got another cool big memorial over here. So we're hoping it's not like that anymore, but yeah, we're leaving the city and it's already, oh my, I feel like I'm in Michigan. All these rough roads. Hopefully it's not like this for too long. We really want to be on some smooth roads today, so make some good time. Riding these rough roads on road bike tires is not fun. All right, bye city. Always nice to start the ride with a big climb under the sun after we have breakfast and we're tired from a week of big rides. That's all right though. Today's profile is going to be mostly downhill, some up down, but mostly downhill as we're descending back down to sea level. We're only at about 300, 400 meters right now, so still we get about 400 meters of descending, which will be nice and hopefully keep the speed up. so we were starting to get pretty worried, seeing some dark clouds all around us. And luckily, we made it to our just about halfway point, our rest stop, right as the rain started coming down. We made our way into the city border and we started sprinting, trying to find a restaurant. This is a little town called Tait Mi. And yeah, there's not many places open here, but luckily we saw the sign for rice. We got some nice cover from the rain, so we're gonna chill out and rest here. Today was really hot for the beginning of the ride. Super hot again. But one good thing about the rain coming is the clouds start to come in, which drops the temperature quite a bit. So we're gonna chill out here at this restaurant, get some food and cool off and wait for the rain to pass. We ordered some drinks, but unfortunately, one bad thing with some of the restaurants here is when you go to order drinks, none of them are refrigerated. So they'll usually have a glass and some ice, so you have to wait for it to cool off a little bit, but that's pretty common here. It's fine with stuff like Coca-Cola, but they also do the same thing with the beers. So yeah, a little bit unfortunate, but we'll wait for this to cool down a little bit, and then hopefully our food will be here pretty soon. Tung's not gonna wait. We need those sweet calories. How's today's ride? Easy? Yeah. Easy ride?
Except the weather.
Except the weather, yeah. It's hot, hot, hot. We've been spoiled by the slightly cooler mountain weather lately, and now we're at the sea level, crazy hot weather here. It's not raining too much, just a little. The other unfortunate thing here is once it starts to get a little bit later, the menu starts to get really limited. A lot of these places, they just make a set portion for the day, and when they sell out, they sell out. So it's about 1 o'clock here. That's a little bit late for lunch for people here. But luckily, they still had a few pieces of meat left. So pretty simple chicken rice, pork rice today. And today's rice is a little bit more yellow. So nothing too fancy. This whole bike tour powered by chicken rice and Coca-Cola. All right, itadakimasu.
Itadakimasu.
So we got a tray here with some chopsticks, and it comes with some free cigarettes. Lovely. We also got our soy sauce and our chili sauce. Which do you like, pork rice or chicken rice? Chicken rice. Oh. So she's gonna take my chicken.
We can. I like chicken.
So we actually changed our mind. We're not gonna rest here for very long because it didn't rain as much as we thought it would. And looking at the radar, it looks like it's gonna get pretty crazy in a little bit. So we're gonna try and make as much progress now as we can and hopefully dodge this rain. We'll see. We've only got about 60 more K into Da Nang. And of course, we're gonna be fighting a nice strong headwind the whole way into town. This whole trip, every day, I swear, we've had a nasty, fun headwind. But anyway, ready to go?
Yep. Let's continue.
It is pretty crazy though. Our cycle computer is saying 27 degrees right now. And earlier during the ride, it was showing 38, 39. So we've already had a 10 plus Celsius drop, which is pretty crazy. Hopefully this isn't too crazy of a storm. Oi, oi! Almost the majority of motorbike drivers here will go to do a U-turn. They won't even look behind them. They'll just pull out in front of you. And that's why so many trucks and bikes beep here, because people just make stupid moves. One other small unfortunate thing during today's ride, my power meter pedals battery finally died, which is also kind of crazy because normally I only charge that once a month, and that lasts me for my normal amount of riding per month. And I charged it right before this trip, and it died just about a third of the way through today's ride. So almost made it the whole trip, but I'm amazed. I've never gone through the entire battery of that thing in a week before. But that's all right. I'm glad it worked for the majority of the trip. And I still got my heart rate data, so we know we're keeping the pace nice and steady. We've been really lucky it hasn't been raining too much on us during this trip. On one hand, it's been so hot on some days we were wishing it'd rain. But I mean, honestly, rain is never fun, especially the cleanup afterwards. I don't mind riding in the rain at all, but I really don't enjoy having to clean my bike and dry it off and do all of that after each ride. But for today's ride, I don't mind because today's the end of the trip, so we can take our time and relax back at our home. Those kids' reactions have been priceless. It doesn't matter where we are, whenever there's a little group of kids that sees us, they always freak out. Hello. For the most part, they just say hello like that. But there were a few interesting ones. There was one kid that said goodbye. I guess he didn't have enough time to say hello, so he just said goodbye as we passed by. So that left a pretty good impression. So we're still going a little bit north right now, and then we're going to be making our way northeast. Hang up, Lai. See you again. Back into the wilderness. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I don't think we'll get rain over this direction. The other nice thing about this route so far is there hasn't been very much truck traffic at all. So it's been pretty good, minus the heat. A lot of cool views along the rivers. And I think this is one of our last little hills. Of course, there's always a hill right after our lunch break. Itsumo gohan no atta saka ga aru.
Heavy. I'm heavy.
Hello. Hello. This is actually a cool little climb. A lot of nice people. A lot of nice people on this climb. Pretty scenic too. Nice canopy road. Not too steep of a gradient. I think that's our last big climb. Or I shouldn't say big climb, but our last kind of little, maybe Cat 4 climb for today. And now after this downhill, it should be mostly flat. Maybe a few small rollers though. Woo! One other interesting thing we found in the mountains here was they had a little pineapple mountain. We noticed we were passing a bunch of small shops that all had like a pyramid of pineapples in front of them. So we were wondering, why are all these places selling pineapples? And then Tung saw a little hill in the distance with a bunch of pineapple plants. And so we figured it out. They're growing a bunch of pineapples back here. This is actually a really beautiful area too, and would only be about a 120-kilometer round trip ride from Da Nang out here and back. So I might have to do this again one more time before I leave on my road bike. The road's pretty smooth for the most part, a little bumpy in some sections, but not too bad. No big potholes or anything like that. The road is pretty wet here though, so it must have rained quite a bit before we came in here, so we got really lucky with our lunch break timing. Looks like it's gonna work out perfectly, and we might have clear skies all the way to Da Nang. Minna oshiko shiteru no video. Yeah, wow, this area is really cool actually. We don't normally ride over too far this way. This is closer to Hoi An, so a little bit south of Da Nang. I don't think there's any roads going up these mountains, but man, do they look massive from over here. So we're finally back in some familiar territory. We're in Han Gia, which is about 45 kilometers southwest of Da Nang. We've ridden down to here one time before, so from here on out we should be on some familiar roads back into Da Nang, and it's nice to say goodbye to the mountains. We'll have some nice smooth flat roads, but of course we do got to deal with this headwind once we turn right up here. But that's all right. Not too much further to go. The only problem with this road is lots of trucks here in this section. But up until we got to this point, it was really nice. Really smooth roads, very few trucks. But from here on out, there just seems to be a lot more trucks. That's all right though. We're getting off on some side roads here pretty soon. Wow, does it feel good to be back on some local, familiar roads. We're back here in Da Nang City, just a few kilometers away from home. And we've been really lucky today. It started sprinkling just a little bit, but we could see the edge of the rain cloud, so we were sort of sprinting, keeping up a high pace to stay on the edge so we didn't get drenched. A lot of the roads are pretty wet though, so our bikes have been getting pretty dirty, but for the most part, we've been staying pretty dry. And felt so good to be back on the smooth roads too. We managed to keep a pretty nice average today, almost 24 kilometers an hour. And our goal for the ride time today was 5.5 hours, and we're a bit under that now. So we made some really good time today. We're passing Sun World here. And yeah, it's really nice to be back on our roads that we're really familiar with. We're in the home stretch now, almost back to our apartment. And not gonna lie, pretty tired after a long week. The riding itself hasn't been too bad. It's more so the elements. The sun has been really hot and some of the roads have been pretty rough, but for the most part, we've been keeping all of our rides pretty steady tempo, steady heart rate, staying in zone 1, zone 2. This trip has been amazing. I'm really excited to go home, rest, get some food, sleep, and then just reflect on it over the next few days and edit all these videos. We saw so many amazing views along the way. Was able to see a different part of Vietnam that neither of us have seen before, so really glad we decided to do this trip before we moved to the US. I'm heading back to the US myself here in just about 2.5 weeks, so I'm gonna enjoy my last little bit of riding here on the road bike. We're on the city side of Da Nang right now, so we got some big government buildings over here, and we got a big monument over here. We live more on the beach side, so we're going to be crossing over one of the bridges here in just a second, getting away from this busy city traffic. But it does feel good to be back in the city, back with all the conveniences. We know where everything is here, so it's really easy for us to find the food that we want. It was pretty easy for us to find food during the trip, especially simple things like chicken rice and pho noodles and stuff like that. But I've had my fill of chicken rice for a while, so we're gonna have something different for dinner tonight, I think. So what do you think of today's ride, Chun-chan? Today?
I'm okay, but no rain, but look at me.
Dirty?
Dirty.
Yeah, she's been riding behind me. Even though I have the fenders, she gets still a little dirty. And what did you think of the whole bike trip? 6 days, bikepacking trip.
I think I can do better more than I thought.
Yeah.
And I think I'm stronger.
Yeah. Stronger now?
Yeah.
After 1 week of big riding?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is your biggest week of cycling ever.
Yeah.
And what did you think about the mountains in Vietnam? Is different?
Yeah, no. What is different?
You've never been to the mountains in Vietnam?
Yeah.
We saw a new West Vietnam, the mountains Vietnam.
Yes.
Were you surprised?
Yes. So beautiful.
What was the most surprising or interesting part of the trip?
Yesterday, the downhill. That's a surprise for me.
The crazy downhill?
Yes, crazy downhill.
Yeah. But that's not good surprise. What about good surprise? What was the best part?
The hill climb to Mang Den.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful view, mountain view.
Beautiful view?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say for me, the highlight of the trip was Mang Den as well. The little mountain town, nice and quiet, a lot cooler temperature there, and just beautiful surrounding area, beautiful views everywhere. And I would have loved to have gone there for a couple weeks to train. The roads there are perfect, and I regret that we didn't know about it earlier. But we're nearing our home. We live just on the other side of Dragon Bridge here. So this is the tail side of the Dragon Bridge, the city side. We're gonna cross over here and make our way home and order some food. The nice thing about living in the city is we can use the food delivery apps here. So we don't have to leave our apartment tonight. We can relax. We deserve it after this long week. Jeez, this guy is crazy. Tried to cut on the inside in a wet corner. That'd be pretty horrible if he ends up being our delivery driver for food tonight. The other funny thing is, this is our last hill of the bike tour. Home sweet home.
Yeah.
We finally made it home and we grabbed a quick little snack. Luckily, we got a little taiyaki shop right next to our place, so it's one of our favorite snacks from Japan. And unfortunately, it is a Vietnamese version, so it's not as good. It's maybe, what, %?
50, 40.
Yee? Sanju.
Really? Just 30?
Tung says it's 40% as delicious as a Japanese taiyaki. I think it's like 25%, 30%. Yeah, it's...
No, this way.
It doesn't look anything like Japanese taiyaki, and it's a lot thinner, and there's a lot less filling, and it's not really crispy. But it still has the red bean. It still tastes like a waffle. So yeah, we have continued construction right next to our house, so that's why you keep hearing banging. So yay, good to be home. Hopefully they're not working until 1 a.m. tonight, so we can get some sleep. In Vietnam, they can do construction till 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. But anyway, we're going to eat our taiyaki and take a shower
Take a shower.
and order some real food
Yes.
and sleep.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, guys, we're pretty tired, so we're not going to talk too much right now. Thank you for following along on our series. I'll add the playlist up here and in the video description if you want to see all of our videos from this trip. And especially a big thank you to our supporters on Patreon. Thanks to your guys' support, we were able to make this video possible. Thanks for watching. Give the video a thumbs up before you go, and we'll see you next time here on Tubo Cruise.
Bye.